Hey, 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 beautiful people. Okay, mic check, mic check. We're good to go. I just got to hear myself and make sure we're good. Let me turn that down so it's not causing feedback. So, all right, good morning, beautiful people. Today we're going to get it in. Let's start with the weather. Today gonna be a rainy day. Hey Teresa, glad to see you, the first one in here. The weather not good today. I think today for the most part is gonna be mostly just a rainy day. It's just an overcast right now, but yeah, I think for the most part, rainy day. Um, what else I was gonna talk about? Hey Artivore. Oh, I got a good topic for you today, Artivore, because you asked me about it. Was it Sunday? I'm gonna talk about endometriosis. So, but we're gonna hit some health and fitness topics first. Let me go ahead and get this treadmill, or should I say walking pad, going, and go ahead and get my watch on indoor walk, so we get these steps in. So I'm gonna start at 2.5 miles per hour. You should be able to see it now. I think I kind of changed the camera so that you can also see the digital part of the walking pad. So I have it at 2.5 miles per hour right now. I'm gonna warm up maybe for the first 5 minutes at this speed, and then we'll increase it. So I'm gonna hold on to this. Today, I don't really think I'm going for necessarily a certain number of miles. Y'all already know I just try to go for that 1 hour mark. That is my minimum when it comes to getting some cardio in. So yeah, I don't think even though I already know I'm probably gonna hit at least three miles. The goal is to do an hour. Um, so the first topic I have for y'all, quickly, like I said, I'm gonna start with health and fitness, and then we'll get more into my medical stuff because I know I talk about it a lot. Well, like I'll mention it, but I've never really gone into detail to explain exactly what it is. And I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what it is. Even if you Google it, it doesn't really give you the full understanding. So we'll get to that. But first, I'm gonna start off with body recompensation composition. So some people just say recomp. I did want to talk about that because I know that a lot of people are always talking about turning fat into muscle, muscle into fat, which I've already told y'all in lives before. Those are two different type of tissues, and you cannot do that. But what I did want to talk about is body recomp and kind of the things that you can do. I think most people do this without even realizing it, but a lot of times in the bodybuilding world, people pick, and I just want to say bodybuilding world, meaning like competition, but bodybuilding in general is the term used because you're changing your body, you're building it up, you know. So it just doesn't mean just your actual bodybuilders to compete. But anyway, so uh, a lot of people normally go for one goal or the other. So normally it's I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to gain weight, right? You're normally trying to do one or the other. But with body recomp, you're kind of trying to accomplish two things at one time. So you're trying to simultaneously lose fat while gaining muscle mass. So you got to kind of have that right balance when you're trying to do body recomp. And it's what you normally hear most fitness people talk about. You got your resistance training, your protein, and your calorie deficit, right? But I'm gonna break that down a little bit more to where you might understand how to make it possible body recomp. So you're not just doing one or the other. You're not just losing weight or gaining weight. Um, hey Charity, good morning, happy Tuesday. I'm happy to see you in here. So far, I got my three. Well, it's five of y'all total. We're missing Hassan and Pow Pow, but you five, y'all are my goat. That y'all my core group. Um, so normally with body recomp, you want to make sure you're we already talked about resistance training, right? I talked about that so many times when we talk about resistance training, where you want to make sure you're doing progressive overload, meaning that we're changing our variables basically. We're progressively changing our rep count to be higher, or the volume of the weight that we're using, or our rep count, we're progressively increasing, right? So we're progressively overload. That's the part of resistance training that you want to make sure you're doing for body recomp. We got to make sure we're getting the resistance training in. That's how you're going to build that muscle. Of course, that also takes recovery. But with that, that means you also have to make sure you're getting your protein in. Okay, cool. What did you do for your workout today? What type of workout class was it? And I'm doing pretty good. The weather's not the best, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy that I'm getting this walk in. Y'all know I'm just like everybody else. Not every day do I feel like working out. It takes a lot. But knowing that all I'm doing is walking does make it a little easier, and it does motivate me a little more to like, okay, Shauna, just get on there. So here we are. So I'm about to come for my 5 minutes. So I will be increasing the speed to like 3 miles per hour. But back to body recomp. So with resistance training, we also got to make sure we're getting our protein. So remember, 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per pound is kind of what you're aiming for, which I know is a lot. It's hard for a lot of people to get protein in, which is normally why we try to tell people that, especially women, that it's a lot harder to build the muscle mass that you think you're going to build by lifting weights. So, but you got to make sure you're getting the, hey, Hassan, you're here. I was just talking about you. Now I'm just missing Pow Pow. So right now I'm just talking about body recomp. So then it comes to, you have to have a slight calorie deficient. We talked about that before, but we talked about it more like when you're trying to lose weight. So the difference here at body recomp is we're not necessarily trying to lose that 500. It depends on where you're starting, right? But for the most part, you normally don't want to try to lose like 500 plus or go to deficit of 500 plus calories per day. You really want to be in that sweet spot of 200 to 400 because we want to make sure we're still getting enough calories to where we're able to build and grow our muscle, but also we're balancing where we're not at a maintenance level of our fat and we're not at a surplus. So, hey, Commando, Raya told me to do full body, arms, core, legs, and all the good stuff. Okay, so you kind of hit it all. Gotcha. Yo, I'll be hitting it all on Friday. So normally with body recomp, it's going to take about 12 to 16 weeks to see a change. And then depending on where you're starting, normally body recomp is better for those who are beginners or those who have more fat. If you're more advanced, remember your body has probably, and I'm just saying it in simple terms. If you're more advanced and you've been working out, your body has probably adapted to a lot of changes, variables that you've done. So you're still going to get the progress. It's just going to be a little slower. So body recomp is possible for anybody, any size. It just your timeline might just look a little different depending on where you're starting. I feel like honestly, most of us do body recomp without even realizing it, but I think it's the calorie deficit and balancing that out that really makes that key difference and making sure you're getting enough, not too much, but not too little. Yeah, Hassan. Yeah, I had to handle the trolls yesterday. I missed a lot of what was going on during the workout. If you weren't here yesterday, it was a good workout. We worked on biceps, triceps, and back. Of course, we hit a little bit of those delts. But yeah, I guess there were a lot of trolls in here. But y'all, I told you, I like the engagement. It don't bother me none. I've gotten used to it now. Hey, I feel like I'm no longer a rookie in the game, so it don't bother me. People get on here and say whatever they want to. It is what it is. So definitely check out that workout. My arms definitely are still feeling it. So Thursday I'm doing legs. Well, I'm doing it tomorrow, but I'm going to post it on Thursday. So I try to at least post at least one workout. Walking on the treadmills for old people. Is it though? But I am old though, Running Man. I am old. You're funny, son. Oh, y'all didn't have to delete his comment. It didn't bother me. Stuff like that ain't bad. Y'all don't have to delete stuff like that. That didn't bother me. The only stuff I want kind of deleted is like just being disrespectful. People can have their own opinion. That doesn't bother me. You out here working while they talking, right? That's what I say. People always want something to say no matter what you're doing. It don't matter if I was running. He probably would have said I'm not running fast enough. So it don't matter. Yeah, y'all strict around these parts. I appreciate it. Y'all do what y'all do. I hired y'all, right? Y'all top flight security in the world. You can see my toes. Oh, you got oh boy, y'all strict. I couldn't even respond to his comment. Y'all quick, Hassan. Y'all are funny. I guess y'all tolerance is a little low. Y'all got boundaries. Y'all are funny. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about on my topic is diet and exercise, and you're still not losing. We know their behavior. Go ahead, Charity. Go ahead, Teresa. Go ahead, Hassan. Y'all got it. Y'all are funny. There are a lot of times where I hear people say, I'm dieting, I'm exercising, I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not losing weight. Like I'm still not losing. I don't know what to do. I've hit a plateau. I just want to give up. I'm about to go get surgery. So let's look at the reasons why you may not be losing weight. First, consuming more calories than you're burning. Of course, I talked about this before in my lives, and I'm gonna say it again. You have to make sure you're in a caloric deficiency, meaning you're consuming less calories than you're burning. So anytime you exert any type of energy, you're burning calories. Think of calories as being like fuel, right? So you're keeping that fuel in your body, but you're never going nowhere. But you just keep, it's almost like a car, right? You keep putting gas in, but you ain't traveling nowhere. You're so funny, Hassan. A lot of people underestimate how many calories they're really consuming. Whether I think a lot of times you get a lot in your drinks. So if you're a coffee drinker and you're using creamer and milk and sugar and all those things, a lot of times it can be deceiving to say, "Oh, I had a cup of coffee today." But if you really break down how much is in that cup of coffee, or if you love going to Starbucks or any of those other type of coffee shops, you're consuming calories, right? They're just taking it straight black, which a lot of people don't. So a lot of our snacks and our drinks is where we're underestimating how many calories we're really taking in, and that can be the sneaky thing, right? That can sneak up on you. If you really look at a back of like any type of your drinks you may have in your refrigerator right now, you'll probably be surprised at how much sugar you're taking in and calories. Um, Other things that could be an issue could be you're not getting enough protein. I think out of all the macros, you will probably hear protein get mentioned the most because protein is probably the hardest for people to actually consume in a healthy way, right? Because, like for instance, people are like, "Oh, well, peanut butter has protein." Yeah, peanut butter I think also is a fat, it's sugary, so it's like it's kind of hard to just get that protein without taking in a lot of other things. So normally not getting enough protein. That's me. I'm the coffee drinker. Yeah, and a lot of people drink coffee and they don't even realize um, how many calories you know that's in that cup. You think it's a certain time to eat your biggest meal for weight loss? I mean, I don't think there is a certain time, but if I had to put it in order, I would say breakfast because I feel like that's when you're probably going to exert the most energy. And normally, I always try to make everything similar to a car because I feel like that analogy is probably easy for people to understand. So they always say like before you go on a trip, if you fill up your gas tank, you'll get better gas mileage, right? So you can travel a lot further than if you like start with. And I'm not saying like necessarily distance. What I mean, because clearly if you got more gas, you can get further. That's not what I mean. Um, what I'm saying is normally my car, for instance, does better if I fill it up all the way. I can normally get more miles per the gallon, if that makes sense. So it's same with your body. If you start with a good breakfast, for one, I feel like normally you're not as hungry throughout the day because you started off full. And normally the breakfast items you eat, like eggs, yogurt, grits, I'm just gonna name everything, hash brown. We can even say pancakes. Anything that you normally eat will give you, depending on what condiments you add onto it, if you use too much syrup or too much, anything like that. But normally it will give you that good if you do avocado and toast. You'll get that good healthy fat, protein, and carbs. What did I talk about? Sleep. Oh, y'all, that's coffee. Yes, you can still eat pancakes. It's just the um portions. That's what I tell people. That to me, there's no such thing as saying, "Oh, you shouldn't eat this, you should eat that." No, you just have to watch how much of it you're eating. But it's still a carb. It's still something that can, put energy on in your body. So yeah, pancakes aren't bad. Just don't get a whole stack, right? um, but yeah, to answer your question though, Teresa, for sure, I would definitely recommend try to stack breakfast and then come down because you got to think as the night is ending, you're not exerting probably as much energy. Your day is slowing down, and then you're probably getting ready for bed. So yeah, I would try to stack breakfast and just drop my calories as I go. A lot of people tend to do the opposite. They'll skip breakfast or do something small for breakfast, and then they'll wait till they have more time. Because I know normally in the morning you're rushing to get kids off to school, you're late for work, you got a meeting, whatever it may be. So morning is only more of a rush time, where the evening time you're off work, you have more time to just sit, relax. A lot of people tend to overload at night because when they have the most time. But by that time, even though calories are calories, right? So you still have 24 hours in a day, no matter when you eat, but it's just harder on your body to eat that late. So it's all about how many calories overall you consume in a 24-hour period. That's what really matters. But you just don't want to put all that on your body at night when it's trying to rest and recover. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had pancakes in a while. I had to do the gluten-free ones. And I'll go into that because I'm going to explain my endo in a little bit. So, but also what can cause people to not lose weight? It could be hormones. I already talked to y'all about like your cortisol levels, which is, a major hormone for most people that when you're stressed, your body holds. So if you have a hormone imbalance, y'all are funny. Let me see what it said. I can still view it. Like it lets me view what was said. Oh, good job. Yeah, good job on we actually gonna put that person in a timeout. Well, good job, y'all. I'm gonna get traumatized, right? These people crazy. It is what it is. Oh, so and then also the last things I know a lot of people deal with medical conditions. I know like PCOS. A lot of people talk about how it's hard for them to lose weight, and just conditions in general. A lot of times it doesn't really come from the condition itself, but sometimes it comes more so from the medication that you're on, and that's why I also try to be mindful with the medications I'm taking, with all these different natural ways I'm trying to be, because you just never want to mix too much together. But so let me see where I'm at before I go into my next thing. So I'm at 18 and a half minutes of walking, and I'm a little less than a mile. Okay, y'all. So now I'm going to talk about stage 4 endometriosis. Like I said, I normally come on here and I'll just mention that I have stage 4 endometriosis, and I'll explain. I'll say things like, "That's why I don't do this or don't do that." But I want to take the time. I know Art of War mentioned it. I don't know. I'm just going for time, Hassan. The goal is like maybe an hour. But I did want to go more into detail about what stage 4 endo is in general and what it does to my body. I can't talk for everybody else. Endometriosis is something that the medical field is still trying to figure out exactly how it happens. There is no answer. So there's theories out there, but there is no right? Just like we don't know how people get cancer. We don't know these things, right? So just to give y'all the Google version explanation of what endo is a disorder in which tissue similar to the tissue that lines the uterus, it grows in places it doesn't belong. So let me explain that a little deeper. So women, of course, we have uterus and each month we have a cycle where the lining builds up, and then when we actually have our cycle, that's the lining basically leaving, meaning you're not pregnant. Each month our bodies are preparing to have a baby, and so it's building that lining each month, and then when you don't get pregnant, that lining leaves. Now, the endometrium lining, the tissue, is, for some reason, it didn't just do that. It didn't just grow and then shed. It has now grown in other parts of my abdominal cavity. So those pieces, yeah, it does, Hassan. So those pieces of tissue that's supposed to shed, it has ended up in other parts of my abdominal cavity. And so basically what happens though, that's funny. But what happens though is every time the body's preparing for pregnancy, those tissues still act like they're inside the uterus. So they're still growing and then they'll shed. And so that blood has nowhere to go. So I guess the way to say it is the tissue, it breaks down and then it bleeds. So that's basically what happens through your cycle, right? The tissue breaks down, it bleeds. Okay. I'm trying to explain it without, because some people may be uncomfortable talking about women's cycles. So I'm trying to explain it the best way without being graphic, I guess, keeping the words simple. So yeah, the tissue has basically grown in other parts of the body. There are 4 stages of endometriosis. You have stage 1, which is minimal. That's basically like just small lesions. And let me go over what lesions, adhesions, and implants are. That way it kind of makes sense as I'm using those words. And not saying that you don't know what it is, but just to always put it out there. So lesions are just area of tissue that's damaged or diseased. Okay, I'm doing a good job. Thank you. So lesions are area of tissue that are damaged or diseased. For me, this may not even be a good comparison, but the way I think of lesions are like chicken pox, but on the inside, like they're not itchy or nothing like that. I'm just talking about the way it looks, right? That's what I imagine a lesion looking like. Like it just like it's damaged the skin, the tissue on the inside. Not like so. Don't take what I say as far as chickenpox word for word. I'm not saying it's itchy and all that. No, they're just like little spots. If you Google it, they're like little spots. That just makes the tissue look damaged. Adhesions are band-like scars that form between the tissue and the organs. It's like thin sheets of tissue. So if you Google it, it's almost gonna look like white. Yeah, just white and thin. And so basically what happens is when that adhesions form, it can start sticking your organs together. So like right now, my left ovary and my uterus are stuck together because there's an adhesion between the two. And the implant is the tissue from the lining. So when we talk about implant, that's the actual tissue that's supposed to shed. It didn't shed, and it's in. So let me go back to the stages. So stage 1, you have small lesions. So you just have little small areas inside your tissue that's damaged, and you don't have a lot of scarring, right? And then you have stage 2, which is mild. Mild is you have deeper lesions. So there's a little deeper, and you may have cysts. I do have cycles. So I actually have regular cycles. I can almost tell you to the T on what day is coming at what time. Do y'all, this is gonna sound, I don't know what that means. Got lines? What does that mean? Okay, Charity. So explain to me this time what you meant by that. So then you have stage 3, which is moderate. So that means you have deep implants, and you have larger cysts, and you have dense adhesions. So like the menstrual thingy, lines. I still know what you're talking about, son. And then I have stage 4, so that's severe. So if y'all can figure out what Hassan trying to say, y'all break it down a little more for me in the chat. I have stage 4 endometriosis, so I have the worst of the worst, right? So I have extensive deep implants. I have large multiple cysts. I have adhesions that distort the pelvic area, so meaning that it goes on other organs. Like, do y'all? No. The uterine line. So, like, are you asking, like, will it ever go away? Will the endometriosis ever go away? Like, will the lining of the uterus, like, eventually go away? Is that what you're asking? Because for the most part, as long as you're having a cycle, it's going to keep regrowing and then shedding. So I'm trying to think what I can compare that with, but I can't. I'm not bad at comparing. I was going to say it's almost like hair. Like if you've ever shaved your face, it's going to grow back, right? Until you get older in age, where I guess your hormones change and your hair is not really growing anymore, it's going to keep coming back. So it's kind of like the lining. As long as you're still having a cycle, it's going to keep growing back. Do you have to have surgery? So yes, endometriosis is only diagnosed through laparoscopic surgery. Laparoscopic surgery is where they go through like 3 different holes. That's why I don't like showing my stomach that much, because I've had 2 laparoscopic surgeries. And so I have scar in my stomach, like this hip, down in this area. I have like 3 or 4 scars. The one in my stomach tends to hurt the most because it just feels restricted when I try to do certain movements. But they pretty much go in there with a camera and their tools. That's the only way they say it can be diagnosed, like officially. I've heard some people say they've maybe see it on like MRI or ultrasound, stuff like that. But as far as like medically being diagnosed and somebody really listening to you, they're gonna ask, did you have a laparoscopic surgery? So I've had 2 of them. I had 2 surgeries back in 2022. And then after I had my surgery, I started having myofascial pain in my lower left abdominal area. So that's why I can't really do like a lot of explosive things. So it's like it started forming scar tissue inside my abdominal area. So that's why it's hard for me now to do a lot of certain explosive movements. I've never had a surgery, not a broken bone. So I never have a broken bone, knock on wood. I had a few track and field injuries, but never broken a bone. For the most part, I would have considered myself to be a very healthy person prior to being diagnosed with endometriosis. And that's why I think it threw me off when I was diagnosed, because the symptoms of it can look very scattered, right? It's almost like what they were saying with COVID. So when COVID first came out, a lot of the symptoms were looking what? Like the flu, like a cold. So it's not until you had things like, oh, I can't taste, it was certain symptoms you had to where it kind of separated from it just being a cold or a flu. That's kind of what endometriosis is. In the beginning, you might experience like heavy cycles. And I say heavy, like really, really heavy. You cramp really bad, a lot of pain, bloating. You might have cysts, fibroids. But people have that as individuals, saying individual things they may just deal with. So as a whole, a doctor normally isn't going to take you serious until it's to the point to where it has to just be that bad. So for me, even though I had been complaining about having symptoms since like 2000, it was after I got into the military, I really started experiencing symptoms. But it was like 2012, 2013 when I really started experiencing a lot of the symptoms. And because they started off with like, oh, just cyst or fibroid or this, I wasn't really being heard. No one cared. No one wanted to dive deeper. So then you go 10 years later in 2022, because of my size, I used to think that I used to feel something in my stomach, but I thought because of my size that maybe it was just like I was just feeling like one of my organs. I don't know. I was being stupid. Like a lot of pain where it's scrunch up your face. You normally want to sleep like scrunched up. Gotta use a heating pad. You don't want to eat. Might miss days of work. Like, yeah, it's really bad. So what was I about to say? Lost my train of thought. I'm gonna find it. I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out what was the last thing I was saying, but I lost my train of thought. So yeah, 10 years later, it wasn't until I was in so much pain, and I don't really try to go to the doctors that often. Well, now I do. I go more than I ever want in life. But at the time, I hated going to the ER because you're gonna sit there all day. Doctor's office, I think they purposely make you wait to try to stir you from wanting to go there because they know if the wait time is so long, maybe it'll prevent people from wanting to come. So anyway, my pain was so bad one morning, like I did not know what to do. And it was my right side that was in so much pain. And I called my twin sister, and because she lives in Georgia with me, of course, and we have dealt with similar issues before, but not she doesn't have this though. So I called her, and I was like, I think I need to go to the hospital. And so I had called the emergency line, and I talked to a nurse, and I explained to the nurse that my right side was in a lot of pain, and she basically was like, you need to go to your nearest hospital. Y'all, who want that hospital bill? So I'm like, but do I? Do I need to go to the hospital? And she's like, just go to your nearest hospital. So I thought I got the phone because what she was thinking was it could have been my why can't I think of it? It's on the right side. You can live without it. I don't know why it's losing me right now. I'll think of it. But she thought it was basically that. I'll think of it and tell you exactly what it was. But I ended up I ended up like trying to drink water. Appendix. There you go. Thank you. Thank y'all. Appendix. She thought it was my appendix. Hey, Phoenix. She was like, well, maybe it's just it might be your appendix. You need to get to the hospital. So I called my sister back because I just kind of laid there and I tried drinking some water. I did not want to go to the hospital, y'all. I was trying to do everything to avoid going to the hospital. So after a while, I started feeling like it was feeling better. And my sister was like, no, you might want to go to the hospital. Because I was like, I think I'm good. Because I was going to have her come pick me up and take me. And I was like, no, I think I'm good. You're fine. Because we lived at the time on opposite sides of Atlanta. She was like on the west side. I was on the east side. And I'm just like, I don't want you traveling all the way over here to get me. So it's okay. So she was like, no, you might want to go to the hospital because it'll probably come back worse. So she came and got me. I went to the hospital. They basically told me I just had, and I'm finding all this because if anybody out there is dealing with the same issues, maybe it'll help. But when I got to the hospital, they actually saw me right away. It didn't take long at all. But what they found is I had a fibroid that was huge. It was bigger than a baseball. I have a picture of it from when they took it out, but I had a fibroid that was like bigger than a baseball, and I had 2 cysts that are wrapped around my ovaries. And so they pretty much were like, you need to see your doctor ASAP because if you do certain movements, the cyst could end up strangling your ovaries and like contort them. How are you doing? First time watching, you are natural beauty. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. So basically, I had to go see my primary care. My mom ended up coming into town right away. Y'all got supportive parents. Let me tell y'all that. The minute she found, because I didn't tell anybody I was in the hospital but my twin sister. She was the only one who knew I was in the hospital. I told her, of course, she took me, but I didn't want to worry anybody else. Like, I don't like worrying people for no reason. So I didn't tell my mom until after I got home, back settled. Y'all, she got here by the morning. And mind you, we live about 5.5, 6 hours away from each other. I didn't tell her to that night. She was here that morning. She went with me to go see my primary because they said I need to go see a specialist. Got in with a specialist. Long story short, a specialist basically felt like there was a lot more to it than just that. So they scheduled me. This is in February. So they scheduled me. My first surgery was in April. So I had my surgery in April. That's my first laparoscopic. And that's when he was able to diagnose. I had stage 4 endometriosis. The endometriosis had grown so bad that it had grown onto my intestines. So they had to remove a part of my intestines and reconstruct that. They removed the cyst. And they tried to remove as much as the endometriosis as possible because it was so much, they couldn't get it all. But that's how he knew it was stage 4, just by the look of it. And then I had to have another surgery because they did remove part of my intestines. They didn't want to go into all the different parts of my body while they had to open so many different things. So they had to have a second surgery. That way they could remove the rest of the endometriosis. And then they removed, I ended up having 2 fibroids they removed. That was 2022. So ever since then, my life has taken a total change. Y'all know I was a celebrity trainer before all this happened. And I felt like I was like at the top of my career. I was starting to get a lot of A-list celebrities, so I was really excited about that. Like, I felt like things were really about to pop off. I had found what I was supposed to do. And then right when I was about to sign this deal with somebody to do something amazing, that's when the doctor pretty much was like, you cannot lift weights, you can't do anything that's going to put too much stress on the body. Anything you do involves your core. Walking engages your core. Thank y'all. I mean, and I'm not telling this for pity or anything. I just really want to explain to y'all what it is. So endometriosis, like I said, it is a disorder, and it's something that is not treatable. You can have a hysterectomy, but that's not going to rid of what's already in there. That's going to continue to shed and grow. So it's almost like they would have to go in there and get every single piece. And it's kind of one of those things, kind of like impossible. So yeah, that's the reason why I have started walking. Yeah, for me to have been a Division I, track and field athlete, I used to do. If you look on my Instagram page, you scroll down, you'll see that I used to do a lot of like challenging things. I used to like to have fun with fitness, and now because of the way my body is, y'all, I had to slow it back down. It's so aggravating, but I'm not getting defeated by this at all. And that's why I try to tell y'all, that's why I started walking, because in 2022, I couldn't really do much of anything. And then 2023, I started having pains from the surgery. Like scar tissue started building up. And endometriosis keeps coming back. Just because you have surgery, it doesn't mean it's gone. It keeps growing. So it's almost like cutting grass. You cut it down, it's gonna grow right back. That's how endometriosis is. It grows right back. So I just try to do everything I can to manage it as best as possible. So that's why I tell y'all I'm on a pharmacy of medicine. And because of that, I'm also trying to do things the natural way. Because if you take too much medicine, that can affect your kidneys. And if y'all saw how much medicine I have, y'all, let's wait till I get to like my 70s, 80s for all of that, So that's what I'm explaining. I'm explaining endometriosis. I have stage 4. So I'll just explain to everybody what endometriosis is in general, and I broke down the stages of it. So right now, what I deal with, I deal with a lot of pelvic pain on my left side. So normally endometriosis will affect one side of your body. Normally, that's where the blood may shed into, or it just affects your pelvic organs. So my left side is the one that's affected the most. My left lower abdominal muscle area, should I say, is affected the most. So when I first got done with my surgeries, I had to go to the hospital once a month and get injections, and that was to put my body almost like a menopause state, and that would stop the body from having a cycle to try to control the endometriosis from growing. Thank you for educating this topic. I was not familiar with it. Thank you. So the first 6 months after surgery, I did that injection once a month. And then when I started having issues with my lower left abdominal area, I started having to go get injections every couple of weeks to try to help. What's menopause? Oh, it's such an amazing thing. And I say that sarcastically. But I would just say it's a shift in hormones. That's how I'm going to simplify it. That way I don't go too off topic. But it's a switch in hormones. Women stop having their cycles. Stuff like that. We'll just keep it simple. But yeah, I started having to get injections. Those injections started working in the beginning, and they started phasing off. But also due to the endometriosis, I was very anemic. A woman should be between, I think it's 11 and 13, or maybe it's 13 to 15. I think for women is what their number should be. Surgeries cause adhesion, which cause same pain. Right. So once I had my surgeries, that didn't help. Because I had 2 of them. But as I was getting in the shots, they started wearing off and they were no longer working. By the time I got to the parking lot, I'm like, this ain't do nothing. So, but I was talking about the anemia. So my number was like an 8. It got down to an 8.2. And mind you, it should be closer to like a 12, 13. And I was at an 8. And so when you're also anemic, I know a lot of people joke about being anemic. They talk about, I'm always cold and things like that. But there's so much more to that when it comes to like your body and the blood and the oxygen and just always feeling fatigued. So that's why I started doing the juicing originally, was to help with my inflammation. Because depending on what foods you eat, that can also affect the endometriosis. So like dairy, wheat, gluten, I don't know. I feel like just name it. Anything you like to eat, it affects the endometriosis. Processed foods. So what inflammation basically just feels like is it's just to me it's just a lot of pain. Normally I feel it more in the morning if I do experience it. This all just feels inflamed. I don't know how to really explain that. Oh yeah, alcohol. You're absolutely right. When I had very low iron, I had breathlessness and felt like my breathing gonna stop. Yep. That's what I also felt that too. Like even walking upstairs, and to think I'm pretty fit, right, for the most part. But even walking upstairs was a lot for me. Definitely was fatigued, and I'm just like, am I that out of shape? Like I can't be. But it was because I'm anemic, so I was put on pills for that. But then those pills were affecting my intestines, and because I already have intestinal problems, y'all, for me to only be, and I say only, But for me to be 37, I've already had to have a colonoscopy. And normally that's not something you get to you in your 40s. But I had to get that I got that when I was 30. I just turned, I think, 35, 36. I had to get a colonoscopy. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I definitely feel so old. I'm trying to think. So yeah, so the alcohol thing. So that's why I don't drink. It's not because I don't want to, but that definitely can inflame you. Smoking. What else is there? I mean, well, at least it makes you healthy, right? As far as like your habits, it makes your habits healthier. So right now I'm at the point where most of my medicines don't really work. I feel like, insomnia. It's hard to sleep sometimes due to the pain. But for the most part, people around me would never know. I will say the one problem I've dealt with is the hormonal side of it. Because just think about how a woman gets when she's on her cycle, right? She can be very moody. So imagine that being your day to day, right? So you may wake up and you're like, man, I'm very irritable, but you don't even know why. But so sometimes I have to like reel myself in and like, Shonda, you got stage 4 endo. Because sometimes I can be snappy and I'm like, why am I so snappy? I felt like I was okay this morning. Like, why am I acting like this? But when your body's out of whack, it can make you snappy. Out of breath. Yep. So that's the reason why I juice every Sunday once again, was to help with my inflammation, because as y'all know, a lot of the fruits and veggies I talk about, especially like the ginger root and stuff like that, it helps the inflammation. And then when I do like I think this past Sunday I did talk about how one of the items help with iron absorption. Any type of the green leafy fruits and veggies I do, those are great for helping with iron. Yeah, pain can change your mood for sure. And that's what I have to remind myself. Hey, Daniel. And I don't want to be a victim to endometriosis, or, I don't want a pity party, or I don't want people to treat me different. But it's like I do try to remind people that I have endometriosis. So please, if I'm not myself, please kind of bring me back. Like, hey, you're being a little snappy, or just bring it to my attention. Because I try to tell people, like, especially women, I'm like, well, thank you, Daniel. Especially women, I try to tell them, I'm like, girl, have you ever been on or getting ready to start your cycle, but you don't know you're getting ready to start, and then you're snappy? You're like, why am I so snappy? You're like, oh, my period about to start in like 2 days. So then you understand why. For me, this is a daily thing. And so I have to like remind myself almost every day, girl, you got stage 4 endo. And then on top of that, I found out in November of 2024, I think it was like, no, it was September, October of 2024, that I have adenomyosis. Can't win, y'all. So adenomyosis is very similar to endometriosis, except the tissue grows in the muscular walls of your uterus. So instead of it affecting the abdominal cavity and other organs and tissues, it just affects the muscular, not say just, but it affects the muscular walls. So it can cause chronic pain, it can cause heavy bleeding. The cure for that is a hysterectomy. So a lot of times the doctors will recommend hysterectomy. So there is a way to cure adenomyosis. The double amount I drank with a straw for like a year. Oh, interesting. I don't know I don't say level, but what type of adeno. Turns out drinking with a straw air to build up in your stomach. Oh, I guess that makes sense. I think a lot of times people drink out of straws or wanting to not drink out of cups and to protect their teeth. But yeah, so dealing with stage 4 endometriosis and adenomyosis is definitely an amazing combo in all the wrong ways. So why won't I get a hysterectomy? Because I still want to have kids. So yes, I'm 37 and the clock is ticking. I know, you don't have to remind me. But I still want to have kids. And also I've been told that once you start removing certain parts of like your anatomy, it can kind of throw things off even more. And I don't deal with endobelly. There are some women who get endobelly to where it can make them look like they're 3-4 months pregnant. I don't deal with that. So I kind of feel like if I'm just trying to suck it up as best as possible and like deal with the pain and all that of having the endo and the adenomyosis. But it does affect, so my right fallopian tube is blocked from the endometriosis. So that kind of sucks. I did have to have a hysteroscopy in November because of the adenomyosis. So I had a hysteroscopy, but they basically go in because they thought I had polyps in my uterus. So they went in there, checked for that. I think they said for the most part my uterus didn't look too bad. It actually looked, better than they expected going in. So for the first time in 3 years or 2 years, I finally got some good news. I have like the worst anxiety when it comes to going to the doctor now because I feel like every time I go to a doctor, something is wrong. Like I'm like traumatized. This is the most interesting live I've ever witnessed. It's hard to deal with every day, no words. Thank you for always being here to support and encourage us each day on your hard days. We see you, appreciate you. Thank you, Charity. Yeah, it's just something you thank you, Teresa. Yeah, and I think more women. I think because so many women deal with like cysts and fibroids in itself, that's why endometriosis and PCOS and adenomyosis get minimized because so many people, so many women deal with it, and I mean just that, deal with it. Like they just go through life dealing with it. A lot of times, doctors, if it's not like I kind of say like the military, if it's not life, limb, or eyesight, it's like drink some water and keep moving. And I think for me, the biggest thing is if I already had kids, I probably wouldn't care about having endometriosis and adenomyosis. But the fact that it does affect fertility, it can affect your egg quality. Like I said, it's already blocking my right fallopian tube. So I think that's the hardest part. So people just gotta be kind of patient with me. And I'm also trying to give myself grace and be patient. I've done a lot of working on myself. Once it took a lot for me to understand what endometriosis is and adenomyosis. I needed time to kind of understand what it was as well because prior to my diagnosis, I was not familiar with it. I heard about PCOS and that's about it, but I wasn't familiar with endometriosis and adenomyosis. Now I'm in a whole bunch of support groups on Facebook. So those are amazing to be in groups where there are a lot of women who also save your eggs. So I started trying to save my eggs when I was 34. That's when I first found out about endometriosis. I was 33, 34. But at the time, because I had cysts on my ovaries, the doctor at the time told me that I probably wouldn't get good quality eggs. Okay. I got this one, y'all. Oh, well, y'all quick, boy. Y'all are quick with it. We're going to put that person in timeout. Appreciate you. If you can't have kids, options always an option. No matter what, the child will be yours under your care. Kiki Palmer. Hey, I'll take it as a compliment. I love me some Kiki. But Hassan, you're right. I have thought about adoption, but I think it's just something about having a face that looks like me a little bit that I want. I do know people who are adopted, and I see kids who I think would, I guess, get so much love from me that I know that that's what God wants me to do. I am willing to adopt. I just at least want my own like little face out there. I want my own little mini. So I think that will probably be the hardest part for me when it comes to when I'm trying to have kids. Yeah, 'cause I definitely know I can definitely give a lot of love to a child. I know I have a lot to offer. That's why I have my AAU USA Track and Field program. I've been working with youth for years. So I love working with kids. But yeah, I think that would be the one thing that would kind of break my heart is if I'm not able to have my own child. Um, I know at the end of the day, just having a little one call me mom and having someone to take care of and love will be amazing, right? I'm not gonna knock that. I would definitely take that. But yeah, I just want to have my own little face. I don't even have a gender preference. It can be a boy or a girl. I just want a healthy little one. I know exactly what you mean about having your very own baby. Thank you. Yeah, and there was someone um, when I used to train at a boot camp, and there was a lady there who was older in age. Don't give up. Thank you. I won't. There was a lady that was there who never had kids. I forgot how old she was, but I think she was past the age of having kids. And she pretty much said, when you're able to have kids in your mind, you think you have all the time in the world, and you don't really put forth the effort to having them. And then it's not until and you think you'll be okay without having them. And then she said it wasn't until she wasn't able to have kids anymore that's when she felt like she missed opportunity. Um, so the days that I feel like I'll be okay not having one, I think about that and I'm just like, yeah, no, I want to have a baby. So I know a lot of people think 37 is still relatively young when it comes to wanting to have children. I know so many women now are starting to have kids later. And I'm God fearing, so I know if that's what God wants me to do, He can make it possible. So I don't really. That's why I don't give endometriosis the power, or adenomyosis the power, because I know if God wants me to have a child, it will happen. Um, so yeah, I try to stay positive, but it's definitely one of those things that, yeah, I just feel rushed. I will say that. Boy, I tell you, my phone was ringing, so I was trying to figure out what was going on. Walk backwards on the treadmill to work the other leg muscles. Yes, I do that. Sometimes I even walk sideways. Uh, I'm not walking back because I want to be able to see the chat. Okay, keep the faith, give yourself grace, out of your control, but God is in control. Exactly. And I think that's what's the hard part about this all is I'm a type of person to where I like to have control. I think most people would like to have control of our lives. So the fact that this is one thing that I need help with is kind of aggravating. Um, So yeah, if anybody out there has endometriosis and you ever want to talk about it, you can always hit my Instagram or whatever to get in contact with me, and we can talk about it. I definitely like supporting other women who are going through it, who may have questions with maybe how I'm handling it, what medicine I'm on, how do I stay working out while dealing with it. And that's why I try to tell you guys low impact working out has been such a blessing to me. And that's why I mentioned where I was like kind of like saying how I was like depressed before I started walking on the walking pad like 2 months ago. Because as you get older, you start realizing you're not able to do the things you used to do. And it's not that I can't physically do it, but it's because the fact that I still want to have kids. I'm trying to protect my body as much as possible. So I just feel like I'm losing a lot of time just kind of enjoying life because I'm so stuck in this like take care of your body, don't do this, don't do that. So I feel I'm kind of that social bum. I don't like going out. It's not even Thursday yet, and the trolls arrived early. Y'all, I say I must be doing something right If the trolls are here, that means, hey, you got to be doing something right. Hey, let them have their fun. It don't bother me, y'all. I swear, y'all gonna overwork yourself if you try to deal with every troll. I mean, the rude comments on thing I care about when they get kind of disrespectful, but stuff like this don't bother me. I will say on the live yesterday, we had close to like 700 people. By the end of it, you know, after you close out of a live, it gives you your analytics. It tells you how many people overall viewed. So I've had a friend that has it, and it's hard on her for real. Takes courage to speak about it. Yeah, it definitely has taken me a while to talk about it. But when Art of War mentioned it on Sunday, and then the fact that it has been on my heart to talk about it a little more because I do want to educate people to let them know it's not the end of it. It's not the end all be all. But there's other ways to still get what you want in the end, even if it is pregnancy, if it is to be healthier, if it is to minimize the pain. I mean, the pain is still there for me, but I'm able to minimize it as best as possible by doing things like this. I keep my stress levels down. So that's why these people in here don't bother me, because stress is something that inflames endometriosis. You know, anytime your cortisol levels start to increase, that hormone, it can affect you. So, y'all, I don't stress about nothing really anymore, because I didn't put all this work in to let somebody stress me out and like let it all crumble. So that's why I just smile a lot. That's why I don't let these trolls bother me. Yeah, y'all can put them in jail, timeout, whatever it is. Y'all funny. So yeah, I don't let them bother me because of that. People are gonna be who they are. Everybody's free to their own opinion, but as long as they keep it cute, I don't care. But yeah, I think, do y'all have my moderators? Do y'all have? Can y'all put them in timeout and do all that? But I think once I realized that the cortisol, that hormone, it affects your inflammation a lot, and the inflammation is what can cause the endometriosis to be worse. I was like, y'all not gonna worry me when I tell y'all somebody could. I don't know how to even explain it. I'm just that unbothered. It would take a lot. Now I still got feelings, of course, but as far as the person I used to be, I am a Florida girl, so I'm very witty. I got to come back, but now I try to see the positive in everything. Yeah, y'all are quick. Uh, Armando, I think that's how you say it. Armando. I don't know how to say your name, but thank you. See, I can't even eat ice cream, Leroy. See, did you not catch? I can't eat dairy, gluten. I don't even eat ice cream like that. Y'all are funny. You didn't even ask me. Well, no, I'm talking about my personal life anyway, so you wouldn't know if I was single or not. I don't share that part of me. That's probably one area I'll let y'all continue to guess if I'm single, if I'm taken. Who knows? Um, yeah. Can you give me advice on how to get a girlfriend? Well, I didn't say I was married. I could still be in a relationship. uh, okay, let me see. How you get a girlfriend? Just be yourself. I don't know. Right. I do give fitness advice, not dating advice, because I don't know. I don't know how you do that. Just be yourself. Be confident. Brandon, thanks. Chat, y'all got any advice for how to get a girlfriend? Y'all give it. Ask me a fitness question. Then hit the gym daily. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to get out and about. You got to go places where you would want to find a girlfriend. So you got to go do things that you find interesting, and maybe you'll find someone out there. You got to act like a bad boy. Not necessarily. Not everybody likes a bad boy. So, y'all, we talked about body recomp today. We talked about diet and exercise and why you may not be losing even after making all these changes. We talked about endometriosis, what it is, and me having stage 4 endometriosis. I feel like there was a lot that I left out when it came to like what I did with personally, because I have been dealing with this now going on 3 years. Well, it just passed 3 years. So that's why sometimes y'all may see me walk with a limp. Some days this side hurts a little more than I wanted to. And so I just push through, you know. I'm not going to let endometriosis or adenomyosis stop my life. But does it affect it? Yes. So I've gotten so used to walking with a limp that I don't even realize it. But a lot of times it's because I'm having so much pain with this left hip. That's the reason why I don't want to go live with leg day, because my left side is just so weak that I'd rather be able to take my time and do it not on live, and then I can post the edited version on here. My left side just gives me so many problems. I mean, Leroy, it's not all about the money. That's the problem. That should tell you right there. They know money and everything. What was wrong? I didn't see the comment. Charity, you're so funny. So, yeah. Did anybody have any questions when it comes to endometriosis or adenomyosis? There is no question when it comes to that. That is too much for me. I would definitely answer any question like that. YouTube Live, it works good. Okay, Charity with the comeback. Y'all are funny in this chat. Okay, y'all. So for the rest of this week, what I got on my plate is Thursday, I will be posting leg day workout. And then Friday, we got full body cardio. So if you want to work out with your girl, all you need is a little bit of space, no equipment needed. We're going to do some full body cardio. It's always low impact. So even if you're living in an apartment, or if you just live in a home and somebody's below you, don't worry about all that. There's no jumping. I got you. And then on Sunday, we will be juicing. So I got to come up with a color. I don't know what color to do. So you gotta let me know what color I should do for juicing. I'll put a poll out there, but I don't know what colors to put on the poll. There you go, Charity. She is correct. Y'all are funny. I love my chat. I just want y'all to know, when I look back to where I started to where I'm at today, y'all are amazing. We formed our little community here. Y'all don't play about me, and I love that. So let me check. Let's do my status check to see where I'm at with the fitness. Okay, so my watch says I burned 187 calories. It said like 387. For the most part, I kept it pretty slow today. I kept it at 3 miles per hour. Hey, Joshy. I'm at 3.35 miles. So I did hit a little over 3 miles. I was trying to see what the time was, but I'm pretty sure I am over an hour. That was pretty much my goal for today, was just to hit an hour. So I'm at 68 minutes. So if you guys have, well, I hate using the word guys. If you all have have any questions about anything we talked about today, whether it be body recomp, diet and exercise, endo, adeno, I got you. Y'all already know I got a fitness app, Be Your Body Goals, BeYourBG.com. We're going to be starting the month of June. Let's see. Let me see what the first Monday is for June. So June 2nd is when we're going to get started. So next Monday is when Be Your Body Goals for the month of June will get started. So if anybody's interested, go to BeYourBG.com, hit my website, see if there's anything that interests you. Yeah, y'all not messing around. What was I gonna say? But yeah, start Monday. I gotta let y'all know what my goals are for the month of June. If I'm changing anything, adding anything, subtracting anything. Y'all are funny to me. But meet me here as far as live. Well, watch my video on Thursday, but meet me back here on Friday. I am going to post some colors on a poll for the juice. That way I can give me some ideas. Otherwise, I'll just go to the farmer's market, kind of look at what fruits and veggies they have. I also said I'm going to go to Sprouts. But I'm going to, if I don't get a good enough amount of people to talk about what color I should do, I'm just going to figure it out by going to Sprouts or farmer's market, seeing what fruits and veggies they have, and we'll just go based off of that. Remember, I like to try different fruits and veggies and just have fun with it. So my next live will be Friday. As far as my live video Friday, but watch my edited video that I'll be posting on Thursday. Y'all already know my Instagram is Get Fit with LJ, so follow me there. I'm trying to post on there more often. I had stopped at one point, but now I'm trying to get back into posting on all my different platforms. So I'm not. I don't think I will. I shouldn't. Remember, last Friday I had a good excuse. My bathroom had flooded. So that was my reason for why I had to cancel last Friday. But I don't plan on canceling this. I try to pretty much stay on task. My goal is stay consistent. And I know the minute, it's just like working out, right? The minute you stop doing something, it makes it easier. So I don't want to get used to canceling because I feel like now it's starting to get easier for me to do. So my goal is to make sure I'm staying consistent, showing up on here. Y'all know on my schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So the only times I'm not posting are Wednesday and Saturday as of right now. But I'm posting something on the other days. So, but y'all, I think I'm about to hit. Let's see if I just got 3.5 miles. I probably could have walked a little further if I had my speed a little faster. So let's see. Okay, so I hit my 3.5 miles per hour. I mean, what's my 3.5? My 3.5 miles for the day. So even though that wasn't my goal, I tend to still like to hit certain numbers as I get closer to it. So I am going to slow it down. You know, anytime you're walking or you're working out, you want to make sure you cool down before you just stop. So I'm probably going to walk it out for maybe 60 seconds, 2 minutes, and then I'll get off. Just trying to bring my heart rate back down. Well, my watch says I burned 200 calories at least. So that's not bad. And remember, the sooner you start working out, you'll have that after metabolic burn. So throughout the day, moving forward, I'll probably be able to burn calories a little faster throughout the day than I normally would if I was just sitting around. Y'all are funny to me. Why y'all going in on this man? I'm trying to catch up on what y'all been talking about. I have high standards, and this girl meets all of them. How you know? Y'all are funny. Whew. I always try to make sure my heart rate gets under 100, which it has. So I appreciate y'all for joining me on the live today. Y'all have been an amazing chat. Thank you for listening to me talk about endo and adenomyosis. I think it also helped me a little bit just talking about it. But yeah, I appreciate it. As I guess think about more things, y'all may hear me talk about it a little more because it is a part of my life. And maybe one day somebody else may jump in my life who deals with it. And so it may touch them and it may give them the knowledge they need to get through it. So Leroy, my boy, I hope you have the best of luck with getting whoever it is you're trying to get. It's not me, I promise, it's not me. But to all my moderators, thank y'all for doing what you do best, keeping it cute in this chat. I thank everybody for joining. Y'all always know I love the engagement. Y'all keep motivating me, encouraging me to stay with this. So make sure y'all watch my video Thursday, and let's work out Friday, y'all. Come ready, come ready, come ready. Remember, you don't need a lot of space. The workout normally, the workout's probably like 20 to 30 minutes itself, and then I'll probably walk for 1 mile. So be ready for that. So work out, then walk for 1 mile. So all right, y'all, it's been real. I'll see y'all back live on Friday. All right, all right. Be kind.